estimated that about 1.3 or 4 billion to 5 million or about 6 million people in India are suffering from heart failure. You know, the exact figures are not available, unfortunately, in our country, because the data collection, data management, etc. are very poor. Because 80% of our population are living in the villages. So I would start few things which people might like to ask, or I would like to say about the World Heart Day and how to pump your heart, or how to strengthen your heartbeat. Now, number one, everybody will ask what are the things to be avoided for to avoid not to get sick, not to get sick from the heart disease. These are the usual questions. The other questions are, what are the treatment? You know, people talk about angioplasty, stenting, surgery, etc. That is quite common. Everybody knows about that. But I would like to touch upon something else, that is, say, let us talk about grow your own breathing art in an aquarium or in your backyard. This is about zebrafish, and this is about the pigs. So, coming to these STENTS, we know that the earlier generation of STENTS were just made up of metal tube. But now, as the technology has advanced, we have programmable bioabsorbable STENTS for coronary revascularization. That is, the STENTs are, and because it is bioabsorbable, after a certain period, usually a year, it gets absorbed and the lumen stays. That means the blood supply still can. Another version which is very recent is programmable. How long one wants these stents to stay? Usually by about 3 months, the blood supply is established, whatever way you want. But then, whatever deleterious effects of these stents is there, that could also be eliminated by programming these stents, so that according to your body composition, etc., the programmable stent can get bioabsorbed and absorbed within a period of 3 months, 4 months, etc. The other part I would like to just brief you on is stem cells and complex. Stem cells are becoming a part of the heart transplant, or this is part of what we call biological transplant or cellular transplant. And the stem cells have been made into sheets, different layers of sheets that could be called, that is called heartbeats. Then we have a technology for biological coronary artery bypass using stem cells. We have been working on stem cells for almost 8-10 years. And this is Madras Mediville. This is the demo sheet which we have been using. And we have been making stem cells from this to start with our experiments. This was done about 10 years ago, as I said. And we have been very successful in creating the stem cells. If you watch it here carefully, you can see these stem cells what we have created are beating. You have to watch it very carefully. Now this is another type of stem cell which can be taken from the body. These are the progenitor cells. That is, patient cells are taken and then they are multiplied and they are given back at the site where it is necessary. In this case, for this patient, we have to use it for his heart because the heart was damaged and the pumping function of the heart was less than 25%. Here you can see a child, baby Arohi. She was 4 months old. She had severe heart failure. The pumping action was less than 10%. But the problem was from where to get the stem cells. So we found that the blood group, all the other tissue tagging, matching, etc. has been done for the child's father, which was absolutely matching. And hence we have used his blood. From his blood, we remove the stem cells. And the stem cells have been used for this child. The child was 4 months old. This is Arohi after 6 years later. Her heart function has been completely gone. Now, there are only few cases have been done. It is necessary to have permission from ICMR, DCGI, like all the other regulatory bodies. And they will have their inspectors to come and see how the things are being done. This is not for publicity stunt. We have done only over a period of now 6 years. We have done near 90 cases, and we have licensed up to 2018. Now again here you can see we have used bovine pericardium. That is the pericardium which is taken from buffalo. This has been decellularized. That means all the cells have been removed. And this sheet has been used to enforce and stabilize and strengthen the area of the infarct where it has been completely damaged. So this shows a dynamic PET scan showing that it improves decellularized bovine pericardium, improves the strength of the heart. This is again dynamic PET scan, another area. This is again the upper one. What you see is dyskinetic. That is, the contraction is not uniform, and it has been weak. As I have said earlier, it is possible to use the biomaterials which are tissue engineered, and that could be used as a biological coronary bypass. The studies are going on. You can make your own beating heart. See, this is a heart. This is a mixed heart in a chamber that is beating normally with a normal rhythm. Now in this heart, where all the cells have been removed, what we call decellularization has been done, and now recellularization has been done by using stem cells. This is about a mechanical artificial heart. Now one might ask about this artificial heart, mechanical artificial heart. See, you can see the connections are outside, and this is on a principle by levitation. Now, this cost about 30 lakhs, but it cannot last for more than 30 days, because during that time you have to get a substitute heart, that is a biological heart, a donor heart. If you take it for more than 30 days, complications from clotting, excessive bleeding, etc. can occur. But implantable mechanical artificial heart is available. It is made by HeartMate 2 and 3. It costs about 92.8 lakhs. Insertion charge, etc. is different. The company will not give you a heart unless you have another heart standby, which means you are talking about 2 crores. How many people in this country can afford that? So finding out that it is 2 crores, we were talking to the Russians, and we have been able to sign a contract with Russia, with the Sputnik Corporation, who made the first satellite, space shuttle. So we have signed a MOU. This is for an artificial heart known as Sputnik heart. India and Russia had a joint collaboration. This was the BrahMos missile. After that, we are cooperating with the Russians in many other areas, especially defense. Now we are going to cooperate in mechanical artificial heart. And we signed the MOU on May 20th, 2016. In fact, October 18th, we are having the technology transfer. The most important thing is, this heart would cost around 25 to 30 lakhs instead of the heart which is made by HeartMate, that is 1 crore. So this is one of the new ventures we are planning, and we are also trying to implement what Honorable PM has been talking about, Make in India. It is possible if you have support, cooperation, blessing of all, especially financial institutions, regulatory bodies and government. This is all possible, and it will be possible for our common man can afford. If somebody is paying 25 or 30,000 rupees EMI for a medium luxury car, why not let him pay 40 or 50,000 rupees for his own car? So I think it is all possible. It looks upon how it boils down to how we look at the future and how we work for it and how we get cooperation and how we can progress. Thank you.
Hello? Yes, sir. Can we ask the questions now?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So we will take the question. Yes. First question is from Prerna. What is the cost of angioplasty in India?
Angioplasty, just dilating a coronary artery which is blocked, that is angioplasty. But if you are going to put a stent, it depends on the cost of the stent. As I said, bare metal stent, even Dr. Abdul Kalam and Dr. Somaraju, they made a stent, Kalam Raju stent. Now you have got drug-eluting stents, now bioabsorbable stent. What I told about is a programmable bioabsorbable stent. I understand, I'm not a cardiologist, I understand the cost of the stent varies anywhere between 30,000 to 1 lakh. This is what I understand. I must emphasize, I am not a cardiologist and I don't do it. It's not my field. But
Okay.
it comes around 1 lakh. Yeah, please.
Next question from Shravan. How long can the Sputnik heart be placed in human prior to an donor heart?
Now all these mechanical hearts are supposed to work for at least 10 years. Now, of course, it needs battery change. Why it is expensive is, the other materials are not possible to be replaced. You'll have to change the whole machine. But a biological, what we call a donor heart from a human being, now it can work 15 years, 20 years, 23 years, and I think the longest survival is about 28 years. Now, but there are other problems associated with it, mainly due to rejection and immunosuppression to prevent the rejection. That itself can give rise to many problems. It can give rise to coronary artery disease blockage. It can give rise to problems from taking steroids or other immunosuppressives. It can even cause cancer. So there are a lot of complications. But it is very important that these patients who have transplant should be followed up very well by a cardiologist or a person who is well versed with control of rejections. And you might ask, what is the cost? Initially it is about 30,000 rupees per month. But as the time passes, it comes down. A lot of medicines could be stopped and it comes around 3,000 rupees per month. We have some patients who have been going on for 9 years, 10 years, and they are almost like normal. But they themselves have got that fear that, you know, they are living with somebody else's heart. But it is the golden standard and it is the most viable proposition. And the cost of transplant in this country, I think, put all together, it will be around 15 lakhs. That is, you know, transport of the organ. You know, the organ may be in Salem, it may be in Hyderabad. You will have to have a chartered flight, that is, have a small flight, or you can bring it by commercial flight. So many other expenses, even maintaining the donor in that particular hospital, you know, for that also the recipient has to pay for it. So it comes around 15 lakhs average.
Next question from Chetan. What are the complications of bioabsorbable stents? Are they being tissue engineered and manufactured by any Indian companies?
Bioabsorbable stents, I'm not sure whether they are manufactured. As I told in the beginning itself, I'm not a cardiologist. I do not deal with the stents or bioabsorbable stents. I know we are trying to do some work on this programmable bioabsorbable stent, the ART. But we haven't got it in hand, and we need clearance from the regulatory bodies like DCEI. So I cannot answer that question. But usually the bioabsorbable stents, what we are using at present, gets absorbed completely within a period of 12 months.
Next question from Abhishek. How the lifestyle of a patient is affected after a heart transplant in case of artificial heart? What precautions are required?
Now, after a biological heart transplant from a donor, the quality of life is very good. We have a girl from Bangalore, I think it is 9 years after the transplant. I think probably she is the first one. I think her name is in the Limca book. Reena Raju, yes. Her name is in the Limca book. She is the first one to have done paragliding, undersea walk, then cyclothon, marathon. She does everything. She's like any other normal, and she's a singer also for Kannada movies. So she's absolutely normal. Nobody will say that this girl had a transplant. Of course, she's very smart, and so she doesn't show the fact that she had a transplant. But most importantly, she's very sympathetic to the people who had transplant, cannot afford these expensive immunosuppressants. So there is a foundation, she calls it Reena Raju Lighter Life Foundation, and she collects money and buys immunosuppressive drugs and gives it, donates to poor people who can't afford it. So it all depends on the people. Now, as far as the artificial heart is concerned, it's very difficult to say. You might be knowing the Secretary of State, Dick Cheney. He is living on a artificial heart. Nobody knows that.
Question from Rashmi. What are the common challenges faced in coronary artery bypass surgery?
two challenges faced in the coronary artery bypass surgery as far as we South Indians are concerned. Our coronary arteries are very different. Our coronary arteries are almost like the coronary artery of a Bangladeshi or a Sri Lankan or somebody from Malaysia, because it is genetic. In my opinion, all these coronary arteries are very small, diffusely diseased, and it is very difficult to bypass. It is easy to do a bypass for a Caucasian because blood vessel may be 2.5, even 3 millimeter. But our vessels are only 1.5, maximum 2 millimeter with the diffuse disease. So you need little more experience on operating on these patients, our patients who have got severe diffuse coronary artery disease. So that is one part. The second part, there are so many other procedures that have come up. We have also practiced. We have done almost 300 cases where the patients had laser revascularization. We have done endarterectomies for diffuse disease. We have combined endarterectomy with laser revascularization. Now we want to go into laser revascularization, employing stem cells also in those laser channels. So whatever it is, compared to operating on a Caucasian, the coronary artery disease and the coronary artery surgery in Southeast Asian patients, especially South Indian population, is little more tricky, little more difficult.
Next question from Samrant. Are there any donor related factors that could affect the success of the transplant surgery?
Not really donor related, it is the recipient related. If the recipient has been in bad shape, that means his heart is damaged for such a long time. Naturally, the lung pressure also goes up. What we call fixed pulmonary vascular resistance. It is measured in different by different parameters. The commonest what we call is the Wood unit, WOOD. If the Wood unit is more than 5, we don't do transplants because the right ventricle, which is the normal right ventricle, will not be able to pump against that resistance, so it fails. So it is mainly recipient related, not donor related. Donor related, it is not a problem. And if the heart is good and had not been damaged, say a donor had a cardiac arrest, he was resuscitated, and after that, we always do an echocardiogram to find out what is the force of contraction. And if the force of contraction is normal, there is no harm in using that. But if the ejection fraction, what we call that force of contraction, is less than 25%, we will not use it. Of course, we can use it, what we call a piggyback operation. That is, leave the recipient's original heart there and add this heart also into the circulation, so that will also contribute. If somebody's ejection fraction was 15%, and if you have a donor heart which has got 25%, so combining with 40%, you might be normal. It's a difficult operation, not many people have tried it. We have tried a couple of them. So, all possibilities are there, but it needs a lot of coordination, cooperation, teamwork, all sorts of things.
Question from Shravan. Can we use stem cells for the processing of tissue hardware?
Pardon, stem cells? Can we
The question
use
is, can we use stem cells for the processing of tissue hardware?
Yes. Now, we can create scaffolds. That is the matrix. In the shape of your aortic valve, mainly aortic valve. And then grow stem cells on that scaffold. This scaffold is bioabsorbable. So once the stem cells have grown and the bioabsorbable scaffold regenerates, or once the stem cell has grown well and it can withstand the pressure, that can be used as a substitute for the diseased valve, and the bioabsorbable scaffold will get absorbed. So what you have in the end is your own valve.
Next question from Ravan. How long does it take to have a heart transplant? Also, what is the success rate of bypass surgery?
Bypass surgery success rate, universally it should be, the 98.8%. That means 1.2% should be the acceptable mortality. But of course it depends on the condition of the heart. If the heart is very damaged, then you won't get this 98.8, 2% or 98.8%. So 1.2% mortality is acceptable universally in experienced good units. And as far as the transplant surgery is concerned, it's, people say transplant, it is a complex operation. It is not. In fact, the actual transplant time doesn't take more than 45 minutes to 1 hour. But the most important aspect is you need a good team, you need a good coordinator, you need a lot of understanding between the team members and other hospitals. The hospital where the donor is there or the recipient is there, and if there is, many of our metros could not do the same number of transplants which have been done in Chennai. And Chennai has been Mecca for a long time, but there were a lot of other units, say Bombay, Delhi, all the other places, but they could not. I think that is because of lack of coordination, not because of the ability of the surgeon or the infrastructure of the hospital. There are so many corporate hospitals with a lot of sophisticated latest equipments. Equipments and the glass doesn't make results. It is the people who are behind it.
Next question from Gunpreet. What is the life expectancy of a heart transplant recipient?
What is the life expectancy of it? It depends on the recipient. I told you, I think the longest has been 28 years. But, in our experience, it's around 10 years. I'm not saying that all the people will survive 10 years. What is important is the quality of life. And say 60% of them should survive at least 7 years. Quality life.
Now we will take the last question. Question asked by Muneet. What does the heart transplant cost in India?
That is what I said. And on an average, it costs around 15 lakhs. I mean, that is what I understand. Almost all the units. At least that is what it costs in our hospital. And it
Okay,
costs,
unfortunately.
sorry, that's okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please answer the question.
Yeah, as I said, the first year it comes around 30,000 rupees per month for immunosuppression. Subsequently, it will come down. It will be around 3,000 rupees per month. And see, after 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, so it comes down. It is not like a kidney transplant or a liver transplant. Liver does a lot of metabolic activities. So the heart doesn't do all these things. Heart only pumps. It's only a mechanical pump, muscular pump. It doesn't have any other activities. It has no emotion, no hate, no love.